All right, men, welcome to today's episode of Strong Men, Strong Marriages. You guys got a super special guest for you today. This is Joel Gandara. I'll have him introduce himself, but I've gotten to know him over these past few months. Just a great man. We're very aligned in what we're doing, trying to just help men have better lives. I'm more focused on the marriage side. He kind of looks at all aspects, and so just excited to have him. Got to be on his podcast recently too, and just looking forward to a good kind of long-term relationship here. So Joel, if you don't mind just kind of introducing yourself to our guys here.
You got it. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me. Let's see. I was born in Havana, Cuba, in a third world communist country. The communists would have you believe it's second world or first world. It was horrible. There's no rights. So blessed to be in this country and so grateful every single day. If anybody's watching the video portion of this show, behind me is the shirt I had on the boat when I got here.
Oh,
And
wow.
was on that boat for 12 hours. Four of it was horrible storms, no food, no water, really bad situation. So blessed to have pulled into the what was it? A naval air base, I guess, a naval base in Key West, May of 1980. We weren't sure of the date. My mom, till this day, is not sure of the date because we were there for so long at this prisoner like camp waiting in Cuba until they finally let us go. So, there's no cell phone, there's no watches. We didn't have anything. So we're not sure what date we got here, but man, best thing that's ever happened to me and changed my life. But that doesn't mean everything was like uh, golden sidewalks and just everything was perfect. We got here and then it was tough. My mom was a physics teacher in Cuba. My dad was an electrician. And what that turned into was my mom cleaning hotel rooms at the Sir Francis Drake Hotel in San Francisco, where we landed. We ended up settling. My dad got a job. Actually, they both ended up getting a job at a Christian radio station. Very controversial network. Later, it became. It was Family Radio, the home of Harold Camping, who predicted the end of the world a couple of times.
Oh,
Most
geez.
recently, a few years back, put billboards all over the country. People sold everything they had. But you know what? It gave us stability. It gave us a job. I ended up working there for 3.5 years in radio myself. Yeah, grew up just outside of Oakland, California. Didn't have much. I was a product of a very strict Baptist, Southern Baptist upbringing.
Mm.
Most people in Cuba are Catholic. My dad became a Christian when he was maybe 14 or 15. He found a Baptist church in Cuba, and that's where, that's the direction our family went. Um, Rough neighborhood, rough upbringing in the sense that we didn't have much, but that forced me to be smart with my money and my time and my effort. And I worked a lot. And in actually fourth grade, I started buying my own toys. I bought a Transformer toy. That was the most expensive one. It was $50. Here we were living in poverty, and I bought a $50 toy back in the mid 80s because I did it myself. I bought trading
Mhm.
cards and I sold them for more. I bought chocolates, I sold them for more. And I did that for a long time. And then once I was older, I went to garage sales, bought stuff, took it to the flea market. I'll fast forward now 25 years. It leads us pretty close to now. I built a company from a product I found at the garage sales, took it to the flea market, and 25 years later, I bought 14 different companies in that apparel space, and I sold my company. Got it to making me over $1 million a year in net profit. No partners, no debt, just my own money, which was amazing. Every time I was pinching myself every day because I would say in a month I make more than my parents have ever made combined
Mhm.
in a year, and that kept happening. So that's it. Now I'm married for father of four. My wife and I are absolute best friends. We rate our marriage a 9.5 because we don't give anything a 10. We don't know how to make it better. We try, we keep trying, but it's fantastic. We're best friends. Her name is Jessica. And yeah, that's my life. I live in South Florida and very happy to be here.
Yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, man, it was such a cool story, and I think a lot of the guys listening can maybe not relate to come from a different country and all that, but from trying to figure things out, and that interest in improvement and growth and sales and all of that. So yeah, so cool you're able to transform your life in that way. Um, so yeah, so like you mentioned, you sold your company, and so now you made a transition into what you're doing now, which is so tell us just a little bit about kind of what you're doing, but also like uh, you know somebody who would seek you out, like what kind of problems are they facing and like how do you help them with those?
Yeah. So this isn't like I planned to start another business. I was doing great with my other one. I didn't have passion for it. I'd been doing it for 20 something years, but my time got freed in the apparel business. And why? Because that years ago, when I first hit over 1 million in net profit, taxable income, I said to myself, well, I don't need any more money. This is enough. If I never make more than this, honestly, if it got cut in half, I'm fine. Bought my house cash, only buy used cars. My wife doesn't like to spend, which is amazing. So that was all great. And I had this moment. It's a whole story, but I had this moment in my life where I go, that's it. I don't need to work more. And so I cut myself down to a few phone calls a day with my right hand man, a vice president. It's funny I say these things and I'm like, I'm just this poor kid. How did I get to that? But anyway, it happened. And so I had so much free time that I started reaching out to anywhere I could volunteer, accelerators, startups, things like that, like organizations where they help them volunteer type thing. And I volunteered and I started going to give talks at universities and startup groups and all this, United Way, wherever I could just help and tell my story and say how, hey, anybody could do it. If I could do it, a below average kid with not that much great schooling or anything, anybody could do it. You just got to work. You got to do this, this, and this. Well, that turned into someone in Texas, a dog breeder, said, hey, I want to hire you as a coach. First of all, I know nothing about dog breeding. And second of all, no, I don't charge. I'll do it for free. And he said, no, 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 I want to pay. All right, did it. I told my wife, I went home and told my wife, you're not going to believe this. Someone just hired me to be their coach. So maybe I make like 50 grand for the year. I'm going to give this a shot. It'll be fun. And that first year was 156,000. And I go, oh man, there's a need out there. And these guys apparently need this business coaching. So turned that into a business on accident and love it. And now what I've really focused on, because guys will hire me to become their business coach. They want me to help them make $1 million or grow to 3 million or whatever they're trying to do. And then I start asking some more questions like, well, how's your diet? And are you exercising enough? How's your sleep? How's your relationship with your kids and your employees or your coworkers or your bosses or whatever? And how's your relationship with your wife? So I don't go as deep as you do. Obviously, you go in deep on one thing and help so many men. And I met you because one of your listeners introduced us because he says you've been so impactful in his life. So I don't go as deep on that. That's why I love having a circle of experts around that I could send them to you when they need that help. But we touch on in 31 days, I developed a program and a book and it all just happened organically. Again, I wasn't trying to, what can I sell people? It's just, I got some friends together and I goes, you guys want to work on this stuff? Yeah, let's do it. And I just put a class together. Now I look back and that was class 001. I didn't know that. Today we're much further along and it's become an actual successful business today. And guys are coming to me. They could be anywhere from 30 to 50, but we've gone from 18 all the way
Hmm.
to 60 something. So it's everywhere, but usually 30 to 50. And they're guys who just want to keep improving. And my program's called 31 Days to Become a Better Man. And that's what it is. In 31 days of challenges, both physical and mental, I take guys through this ride and we communicate in a WhatsApp. We talk once a week on a Zoom. And if they can't make it to the Zoom, I record them and I send it over to them. And then they follow up on the WhatsApp and give their updates. And every day they got to do a challenge. Maybe it's push-ups, maybe it's air squats on the physical side. But then on the mental side, maybe that day you got to have a deep conversation you've been putting off with somebody. Or you got to go get your baseline and stop being the Al Bundy who scored 4 touchdowns or whatever it was in high school and feels proud of that. And today you can't run one lap around the block. So that day we get a baseline. How long does it take you to do? How many push-ups can you do in a row? What's it take you to run a mile? So we set these early on in the challenge. And then at the end, we repeat them sometimes. And guys are surprised. They got stronger. They got faster. Their wife says they look better. Their kids are now asking them, Dad, can I work out with you? Things like that. So that's what I do now, and I'm absolutely blessed to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. So, yeah, I mean, any kind of guys that stand out as far as like in that 31-day challenge, kind of stuff you saw, improvements they were able to make?
Oh yeah. So two came to mind right now. You didn't feed me these questions, so I got to think about them. I've had 500 guys do it in 18 months, so there's a lot, but
Yeah.
instantly two come. Okay, I'm going to add a third one here. I'm writing it down just so I don't forget. All right, so the first one, he lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's got four boys. And he's already missed his timing on the top three, the oldest boys, the three, because they're already out of the house. And he was mentioning to us, because we go deep, the guys really open up. And he said on one of these Zoom calls, I've lost my chance. Three of my boys are gone, and I don't have a great relationship with them. I made a lot of mistakes. I worked a lot. I snapped at them a lot. I yelled, all these typical things that happen to a lot of us. I'm guilty of it too. Um, and then in the 31 days, and we must have been 3 weeks into it, and he started jogging. He picked that back up during the challenge. And he said that one day he's in the garage lacing up his shoes, and his fourth son was on the road for the same thing as his three older siblings. Not a good relationship with his dad. But the dad, for 21 days, had been working so well on himself that something switched. And this teenage boy said to him, "Dad, can I go jogging with you?"
Hmm.
And that hit him so hard. He got a little bit emotional. This is a professional guy. He's an attorney, owns his own firm. And he said, I'm being able to fix my relationship with my last chance. I have
Yeah.
one more chance with my sons. And it's because he sees me now being disciplined. He sees me now trying. I've had conversations with him, his mom, and he sees me doing push-ups every day. And now they went and ran a few miles together. And he said, that's it. It put them on a whole new trajectory. So
Yeah.
that was a special
Oh,
one.
that's awesome.
Um, I had, when I first started the challenge, I was just using some other book that I found out there. It wasn't great, but it was okay. And the things sometimes work out. That book, I thought I'd never write a book. So I reached out to the author of that book and said, I'm selling you a good amount of books every month and I'll keep promoting it. Do you want to partner up and I'll put these classes together? I'm doing it now anyway. And I tried him on email, Instagram, Facebook. His website. I never got a response. And a little bit, I was frustrated at first. And then I go, well, I guess I have no other choice. I got to write my own book. So
Yep.
thank God that he didn't reply to me, or I would have just been putting something together for someone else. So that forced me to write my own book. Um, and so went down that route, wrote this book. And then I had a book launch party at my house, and we must have had 70 guests. Put a big tent out in the backyard. I may have had a music band, food, everything really nice. And a wife came up to me and said, I just want to thank you because I've been married for 20 years with this man, and he was lost for 20 years. And over the 31 days that you did this together with him and the other guys, my husband came back. The guy that I've been waiting for
Mhm.
20 years finally came back during just this 31 days. That was a huge one. Another one on a business side, my friend, and he explains this all the time, so I'm going to use his name. His name's Kevin Thatcher, lives here in South Florida, about 20 minutes from me. He owns a title company. And on a finance day where you're supposed to look at your finances and look at where the money's going, and remember, finance is a big excuse for divorce and problems. So why
Mhm.
don't we focus on it for a day? And he says on the finance day, we found $50,000 that was slipping through his company in
Mhm.
subscriptions
Mhm.
he didn't need, softwares, expenses. So this forced him to sit down and go through it. And he found 50,000 of recurring expenses. I thought
Jeez.
that was a
Yeah.
pretty big one.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of those where they go, you just saved me 5,000 a year for a $220 class. Not bad. The last one, these were all, again, they just, as you asked,
Yeah.
a guy named Paulo. He's originally from Brazil. And it's more to it than this. His pants fit a lot better, and he's like down multiple sizes. He gives me permission to use his picture when I speak in public, and I show that before and after. It's not a weight loss program, but
Right.
he got something. He got something in him that switched in his brain where he has control over his health now. And his wife has met my wife, and she said, you guys have created a new man in this program.
Mhm.
So, yeah, those are some of the, I don't know, 3 or 4 examples of 500 that I'm really proud of.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Yeah, it's funny, right? Like, and I'm excited. I'm going to be joining up with this challenge here in a couple weeks here. Um, but it's so cool to hear those stories. And I was going to say it's funny because it's not like and even the stuff I teach, I think you'll agree with the stuff you teach. It's not like it's like groundbreaking or like something no one's ever thought of. It's just like you just actually do it. Like you actually do the stuff, you actually do some exercise, you actually have a conversation, all the stuff that you're like, oh yeah, I should probably get to that, or I should probably do it. It's just like, well, just do it. And yeah, I think there's something about um yeah, having sort of a condensed time frame that helps you like gives you a little more motivation to do it. I think there's a lot to do with having a community that's doing it with you. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I've had a lot of guys buy my book who I don't know them. I've sold thousands of books
Mhm.
over the last year and a half, and and then they've contacted me, some have, and have said, this really was impactful. And then I invite them. I say, why don't you sign up for a class? Do it again, but with a bunch of guys.
Hmm.
And they always tell me, yeah, that first time was nothing by
Yep.
myself. This was powerful to have a community. Because guess what? Women usually are really good about that. They have a
Yeah.
community, they can go cry to each other, they can support each other, they can do all these things. Guys don't do any of that. Guys
Yeah.
just internalize it and go crazy. And I live by rules. That's one of the days in the 31. I always tell everybody, don't read ahead on day one. Read day one. It's only 3 to 5 minutes of reading, but don't read ahead because it's going to spoil the surprises. But I'll spoil one of them. It's create your own rules. We
Mhm.
follow society's rules, God's rules, our city's rules, all these things. But what are our rules? So I have a lot of rules in my life, and they help me be on autopilot and effective. So one of them is like if I say I should do that, or I want to do that, or I have to do that, I got to do that. I either go do it right now, which is not always possible,
Sure.
or I grab my phone and I go to my calendar and I program the day that I'm going to do that and the
Yeah.
time. Because we all know what to do. You want to lose some inches on your waist? Stop eating sugar, processed food, stop sitting on the couch, stop drinking beer, stop doing all these things that are bad for you, and go walk. That's
Right.
it. And stop eating at 7 o'clock p.m. I mean, everybody knows how to do that. Now, you got 25 guys cheering you on for 31 days and motivating you.
Yeah.
That's different. Now it starts to happen.
Right. Yeah. Super cool. Awesome. Um, well, great. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's a good kind of transition into, yeah, if somebody did want to come join your program, be part of that, how do they do that?
Yeah, it's 31dailychallenges.com. The 31 is the number three and the number one. 31dailychallenges.com. When you click on it, you're going to see a picture of my wife and I, and it's going to have men's challenges or women's challenges. This coupon that we're going to set up is Strong Men. So you choose one of the men's classes. And whether you choose, I need the book, we'll mail it to you if you do. You just pay the extra $20. Or I don't need a book because you can get it on Kindle or paperback or hardcover on Amazon. Either way, you use the coupon code STRONGMEN and it takes $20 off or $19.99 or something like that. And you'll be in either the two classes open right now are November 20th that you're going to be a part of. You're going to
Yep.
be one of the guys in there. And I'm in all the classes, so we're going to all get to know each other. Or January 8th is another one that works for. So that's it. You sign up. It's really easy. We're going to do a Zoom once a week. So 5 times in those 31 days. Can't make it? Just we'll record it. We'll send it to you. But the cool thing is we have a WhatsApp where we're going to communicate through there on a regular basis. And then once you sign up, you're emailed a login to go to the website and you have a behind the scenes view. So you can see all the videos, all the calls we've had, what you have to do today. So you either have your book or you look at the website. It'll show you what to do today. And that's it. It's a really simple process. And it's like you said earlier, I don't think too many things in this program are going to be so mind blowing that you've never heard of it. There might be a couple, but
Sure.
not all 31 are. But man, this stuff works when you just put it to work. When you do the activity that, and you give in your word, you're a man of honor. You said you're going to be in this thing. You got to follow the rules. There are some rules. No alcohol, no marijuana or drugs, no masturbation, no pornography, no reading ahead. And you got to do the physical exercise and the mental exercise every day. Those are the rules. Anybody who keeps his word and can commit to something for 31 days should be able to do that. Now, because guys are listening here, because it's, usually they want to make their marriage stronger. My thought, and one of my coaches, like personal coaches that I speak to is Jocko Willink, former Navy SEAL
Yeah.
commander. Um, he he likes to talk about one of the best books ever written, I think, Extreme Ownership.
Hmm.
You can't complain about a wife that isn't a good wife if you're a crappy husband. If you're out of shape, if you're sitting around drinking beer, if you're on the couch and she's asking you to help with the things in the family and she walks in and you're just, work on yourself. That's what I find that all these guys are saying, my marriage is better, my relationship with my kids are better, my health, my guys that have gotten off like type 2 diabetes medication. Guess
Yeah.
why? Because you stopped drinking alcohol and you started doing push-ups. All of a sudden you cured yourself. So yeah, that's what this is all about. And super excited to have any of the guys from the Strong Men, Strong Marriages podcast come over and join us here.
Yeah, awesome. Love it. Yeah, so yeah, like you said, 30 or 31daychallenges.com.
31
Coupon.
daily challenges.
Sorry, it's
Yeah.
31dailychallenges.com. And I'll have the link in the show notes so you can just click on it there. And if you're on my email list, I'll be sending it there as well. Um, So yeah, and then the coupon code STRONGMEN, all one word.
All
Um,
one word, lowercase.
all one word, lowercase. So yeah, just type that in for a discount. And yeah, if you want to come join me, I'm doing it on November 20th here. Be fun. It's limited. There's spots are limited, so yeah, it might sell out for that one. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think Joel's saying that usually they do all sell out. Um, so if you can't catch that one, catch the next one. But yeah, well, thanks so much, Joel. Any final words for us as we wrap up here?
Sure. If I ever could get, sometimes people ask me for advice and it's very general, hard to do. Because when someone asks for advice or coaching or anything, I have more questions of them than
Sure.
they have of me. And that's how they slowly get to where they need to get by answering those questions. But so I'll assume some things here. It's just, man, it's to take action. It's to stop sitting around and saying, yeah, I got to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a better husband. I'm going to be a better father. Dude, put the phone down and stop right now and schedule an activity tonight. Go surprise your wife. Go surprise your kids. It's not about material things. I'm a minimalist pretty much, but go do something special. And we address that in the 31 days. We do some things that build relationships with wives and kids beautifully. So look forward to having guys join us.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Joel. Appreciate it. Again, so check the link in the show notes. And yeah, come join us. We're excited. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Joel. And all right, well, so stay strong, men. Stay strong in God, men, and we'll see you next episode.